guys, and welcome back to 1000 Live. Last episode. Wow, this is weird. Slightly creepy. Anyway, let's move on. Come on, don't exaggerate. Deep down, Oz is actually wonderful in his own way. Anyone who's with him will surely be lucky. Yeah, everything is happiness and rainbows until someone gets hurt. Are you supposed to be super busy preparing 1000 things for the graduation parties? That's what you've been telling us all week. Don't try to change the subject. All grad plans are under control. I'll assign more work as it comes. Let's get back to what concerns me. Why would anyone get hurt? We're talking about Oz. Everything ends badly with him. You know, like the hedgehog dilemma? He may be really cute, but you can't get close without being poked. Oz is one of those people who is mostly concerned only with himself and doesn't realize how big his spines are. And I don't mean that in a bad way, it's just that you're giving him too much credit. But this way, it's more interesting if they manage to finish the puzzle, don't you think? Puzzle? The opposites contraposition. The anima and animus Suzuki. I probably screwed that up. That was a mouthful. For each term represents the true unconscious of women and men, respectively. Well, we shouldn't take the gendered part of it too seriously nowadays. It's mostly a way to exemplify it. You're gonna start one of your boring speeches, right? That's not true. It's really interesting. You must consider it a part of the collective unconsciousness. I mean, like a part of us that we absorb from the outside without realizing it. Ziva taps on my desk with her index fingers 3 times before pausing. She takes a second to think and rolls her eyes until she finally decides how to proceed. One way of looking at it is as if you started it in a vacuum on a blank canvas. Your possibilities there are infinite. You can fill that vacuum any way you want. However, you have to choose, decide what is most important to you and what isn't. Basically, find something to love. But how do you know what to love? Every single action in the world creates a contrary and incomprehensible part of us that tells us that which we wish to possess. The target of our affections is forged deep inside of us without our consent. As intangible as our very soul, but more real than it. We've only realized it when it becomes large enough that we must sacrifice those infinite possibilities we are given at the beginning to follow after that new direction. Though it's normal in the beginning to not really know what it is that you desire, which once again makes the target inside of us change. Living on until our next chance, ripening until we choose to fall in love again. And when the animus inside of you finally finds its corresponding anima, the pieces of your puzzles will fit together. When the spines of the 2 hedgehogs perfectly fit between each other, harmlessly. With a frisky wing, Ziva ends her lecture, attributing herself a new victory. I rest my chin on the palm of my hand, displeased with how I always end up having to put up with her insufferable chattering. Why, my whole life has been a lie. I thought that animus was those Japanese cartoons. No, that's anime. Anyway, that's anime. Can you ever take anything that I say seriously at all? Your spines are too long, so I'm scared. Please understand. If you say so, Indian, then it must be true. The bell signifies study hours and all of my classmates start picking up their belongings and getting ready for the next lesson. Ziva is no exception. With her arms full of textbooks, Ziva closes her eyes and tries to remember an important quote, one she knows with extreme precision. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, love is lacking. The one is the shadow of the other. Power and control over the possibilities of the future go hand in hand with your feelings. You can't separate your freedom from how you feel about others. It's an inescapable inevitability. It's during the Suzuki culmination that one can't do anything but choose. I can't believe that's why it's named the Suzuki. It's not a word of psychological origin, you know. After cleaning up, Ziva takes the rest of her books under her arm. Yeah, I know, Suzuki is an astronomical term. Exactly, smart guy. Sometimes I think you know everything. Well, Injun, see you later. Ziva says goodbye with her usual grace, turning away from me to sit at her desk. Meanwhile, I lean against my chair, close my eyes, and hope for some peace and quiet after the exhausting food for thought that Ziva had tossed at me. Suzuki. How couldn't I know about it? That word, though, it is uncomfortable to say, because I feel like I'm saying it wrong. The doors to the library open. It took you forever. For a second, I was worried that you would never get here. Then I realized nothing of value would be lost if you suddenly disappeared, so I forgot about it. Every afternoon, after walking through the doorway, that woman greets me with one of her insults, normally meeting my delayed arrivals with sarcasm. We promise to meet in the library every day, and I do always fulfill my promises, but nothing is stopping me from taking it easy. Now, although she complained and attacked every little flaw that I have, I always had the feeling that she was actually happy to work with me within these walls. That's why I'm surprised not to find her here today. As I wait for her, I fall asleep. When I wake up, I'm surrounded by a specific type of silence that only a library could recreate. On the other side of the window, the sun descends in height and temperature, declaring to the world that it's time to go home. Blue still isn't here. I don't mind if she's tired of our daily collaborations, but I start to worry that maybe something worse has actually happened, and when you feed your mind with different possibilities, the worst always comes first. Maybe she did come. Maybe she got tired of waiting and decided to go explore the building and had an accident in one of the more dangerous parts of the complex. This building was never finished. There's a huge section that's in ruins, and it wouldn't be that absurd taking into account the terrible condition of the place. My eyes gazed down the hallway. I considered checking the building before returning home just in case, despite the qualms about it. After all, how long has it been since I last set foot in that place? First thing I focused my attention on is the dusty marble floor with no footprints on it. You can pretty much see the lack of visitors these past few years. The doors raise a cloud of dust every time they're opened, and behind them I only find forgotten rooms whose furnishing have turned pale over time. My search is fruitless, soothing the weight on my shoulders at the same time as I condemn the uselessness of my worries. There's one last room to check. I stand in front of its door, giving it a sideways glance for a few seconds, before deciding whether or not to enter it. It's the music room. Inside, I only find an old blackboard with the soft vestige of musical notes drawn in between the lines of a pentagram on it. There are also some disorganized chairs and tables scattered carelessly around the rickety room, and a modest upright piano set in the center of the room that had long ago culminated the sounds of apprentices, professionals, and their instruments. I take a seat in front of it, uncovering the two-colored row that makes up the keyboard. Unexpectedly, my fingers begin to move on their own as they search for the keys. The first thing that comes to mind is a melody. Hey, Giovanni Macaroni, where are you? Or, that's what I thought, until the shouts of a certain missing someone make me return to reality. Why? What are you doing here? Liz peeks her head out from the entrance, checking her surroundings before entering. I've been looking for you. Where have you been? I've told you a million times already how dangerous it is to go into this building. Oh, here and there, nothing important. I got here just now when I saw the doors to the hallway open. I thought you were around here, so I came to take a look. I didn't know that you could play the piano. You're full of surprises, McPizza. I reply to her as I stand up and make my way over to the entrance. I can't play. My fingers aren't good enough for any instrument, it seems. Not to mention that this heap of junk must be totally out of tune by now. Luce blocks the path to the doorway with both a penetrating stare and a voice. Then what were you trying to do, if I may ask? I sigh and answer while I gesture for her to get out of the way. The same thing that some untalented girl does when she tries to draw. Luce smiles, moving aside to allow me pass. You should be more polite to that lady, Calzone. She's quite talented. I'll keep that in mind for after she decides to call me by my name, and that's the deal with Italian food names today. Nothing, I'm just hungry. I giggle echoes within the deserted hallways as we return to the library, cheering me up about the unfounded worries I had suffered this very afternoon. Well, do you know what time it is? I was about to leave. Come on, it's always you that's running late. I had some stuff to do today, so I was a bit late myself, but nothing too bad. A bit? I'd like to know what had you been so busy that it made 3 hours seem to be only a bit late. If I could tell you, I wouldn't have to call it stuff. What happened to that philosophy? Ugh. I can't speak today. It's impossible. Philosophy of yours about sharing secrets. Are you going to tell me that some are more valuable than others? Secrets are as valuable as your determination to protect them. You know what's not a secret? That I'm going home. It's late and your stomach is already growling. We don't have electricity and you can't see anything once it's dark outside, so it's not like there's anything else to do. You're leaving already? I'd at least like to see if you progressed yet, and I can show you some of my drawings. Look at the spot you usually sit at. It takes a second for Luce to understand, but once she realizes it, she finds a plastic folder with some sheets of paper inside of it. It's the second chapter. You told me that you didn't even start it. It's not like I was especially inspired, but I managed to write something. You can tell me what you think later. Pretty sure it's going to be dense and pretentious, like the first chapter. If you're going to be like that, then give it back. I never said that it was a bad thing. Also, if you've been waiting all day to show it to me, then you must have wrote it lovingly. I couldn't care less. I told you that I was about to leave. But you didn't, and that means something. No, I just need you to show me the story that you used to win the writing contest, the one you never want to talk about. How the hell do you know that? I have my sources. What did you think? Okay, this conversation is over. See ya. Oh my, I'm going with you, so don't get angry. It's so easy to make you upset that I can't resist, you know. Then tell me who you told that. It's a lot more fun if you try to solve the mystery on your own, isn't it? That's why I'm looking into you. I've already told you that I figure out what you meant when you said that writing's a necessity for you. I got hiccups. If my opinion counts, you can take all the time in the world. How about I reveal to you who my source is, and in exchange, you show me the story you wrote for the writing competition that you won. I'd rather find the culprit by myself than indulge you any longer. You could read the story and then refuse to tell me who the source is. I can't trust you at all. As you wish, but I'll leave the offer open in case you get tired of searching. You aren't the only one who fulfills their promises, so have some faith in me. Oh, just so you know, I don't believe that two people who can truly be friends until they share a promise. I thought it was a secret that they had to share. Well, that's just between you and I. Ba-da-da-da. Reaching the Sun, Chapter 2. Icy. So foretold the tales that once upon a time there was a wolf without a past or memory who wanted to reach the sun. Along the path he traveled, the wolf wanted to quench his thirst, and fatigued by a stream, there he came across a brightly colored snake whose scales resembled a rainbow. The chatterbox reptile initiated conversation, ignoring the differences between reptiles and mammals. The wolf considered that she might be an illusion, for how could it be possible for anyone to have such boundless energy under the intense sun? An idea came to the wolf's mind. Before she could find an answer to his question, could it be that the snake knew how to reach the sun? He had nothing to lose, and so the snake said the following. Reaching the sun? Are you not already hot enough? You seem so distant and reserved. In truth, that was the last thing I would have expected to hear from you, but listening to you makes me happy. The snake chuckled. making the wolf regret ever asking a question in the first place. My name, however, is Icy, as I am cold-blooded. But don't I look warm in your eyes? I'm good at keeping company, said the reptile as she coiled around the wolf's legs. And what's your name? Are you cold or hot? I'm just a wolf, he answered, and that's what you can call me if you wish. The multicolored snake peered across the landscape with her gaze upset by such a dull answer. Too cold for a warm-blooded animal you are, though they do say that opposites attract. The long reptile wrapped herself around the wolf, hissing with her tongue, and the mammal, made nervous by such behavior, asked Icy to keep it short. Ah, yes, the sun. From where I come, the desert, the sun is relentless. If what you wish is to find it, then it should probably be around here. The closer you are, the hotter it gets, don't you think? That's how I feel as I touch your skin. The wolf started to feel awkward and worried. He knew about poisonous snakes and was scared of falling victim to such games, so he decided to excuse himself as quickly as he possibly could. So soon? You can see the sun any time, but we may never meet again. Icy fell back to the ground, slightly depressed. Also, I'm not so sure that you will be able to find it. Don't you think that it's too much for someone of your species? The wolf ignored the snake and her endless chatter. He said goodbye, thankful for her help, and left as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Icy was upset for having to bid farewell to a newly acquired friend so soon. The sun of the desert was big, huge, and colossal. The sand would burn and slip through his fur, his throat dry. His throat was dry and his strength was draining from him with each passing step. Despite all of that, he continued on, dune after dune, searching for a place where the sun might be a little closer to him. Such a pity that the pattern would only repeat indefinitely. Each achievement would only give the same prize. The only difference was how the sun would become more ruthless. What did he do to deserve that? Why that punishment? Something so cruel couldn't possibly bring any joy. The wolf fell to the ground, weakened and defeated. The sand started to cover him little by little, and he thought that he'd die there, buried until eventually melting away at that very spot. The snake was right. He was a warm-blooded animal, so that's why he lost before it ever began, and now he could only close his eyes and give up. Later on, however, he woke up when he felt a breeze that was different from the others. It was cold. The wolf opened his eyes and realized that night had come. Nights in the desert were cold, contrary to the days. He looked towards the sky, and there once again was the moon, bringing him a present that his plentiful fur needed in saving his life. Now he could only smile, happy for the company that the moon was offering him. What could he do in return for her, he wondered. So he gathered air in his lungs and raised his head, determined. And a resounding howl covered the sea and the skies with profound gratitude. So foretold the tales that once upon a time there was a wolf without a past, or memory who wanted to reach the sun. Dun dun dun! No, I'm not crying. If you hear me sniffling, I'm not crying, but I've been sniffly all day. It's awful. Getting out on the wrong side of the bed. It's an expression used to justify when you act grumpy after waking up, even if there's no real proof to back up its legitimacy. People were quite superstitious in the past when it came to customs, so blaming getting out on the wrong side of the bed as being the source of your problems was normal. Even something simple like having a cloudy day like today would be considered an ill omen. Nowadays, nobody really takes those customs seriously. But it does change the fact that you can still use them when you get the feeling that nothing will go as expected. Truth is, I don't know from which side of the bed I got out on this morning. Left or right, or I just rolled off wrapped in the sheets, which happens more than it should. But in its place, I got something even worse. Call from Moss asking if I could visit him and let him copy my notes from school. Seems that he copied the wrong ones last time. Do I think that something like that could be considered an ill omen? Of course not. I know it is. The first sign that validates my suspicion appears even earlier than expected. Over this past week, I've had coincidental meetings pretty much every single day with a certain short but loudmouth girl named Claire. In any case, all I know is that it's impossible for me to try and figure out her real intentions. Okay, now you have to tell me something. What was the meaning of those emails? All of them are cryptic sounding. Why was that? You offend me, Sierra. Now I must ask for a Slushie to compensate for such a despicable attack. You've already gotten ice cream for the same reason. Stop trying to spend all of my money. It's not a real date if the man doesn't pay. Can't you understand something so simple? So this is a date and I didn't even realize it? Can you please stop complicating things and give me an answer? What do you think? Don't answer with a question. Well, I won't deny that I was trying to make them sound mystical and intriguing. That's it, more or less. Now, my Slushie, please. You're impossible. No, I'm not going to treat you to anything, no matter how offended you pretend to be. But I do know a good place for Slushies, so we can go there if you want. Deep, like really deep down, you're a good person, alright, Sierra? Everything else is a facade. I'm done. No Slushie for you. It was a compliment. Don't get mad. Boo. You must be the only person in the entire world who gets angry when they're praised. Remembering our past encounters, I opened the front gate, wondering when and where Claire will appear in front of me of today. Spot on, of course, my answer's in front of me already. There you are, Sierra. I've been waiting for you. I was starting to think you'd never leave. Arrive. Boy, I didn't even see that word. Hi, Claire. One quick question before I suffer from embolism. Can you tell me what the hell you're doing at my house? Well, I wanted to see you. What else could it be? You're such a dummy. Every new question you ask me is stupider than the last. Well, it looks like Sierra just got wrecked. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna end it here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you've been enjoying the series so far. And anyway, I love you guys. Stay kawaii and have fun out there.